Hi, Maria here. I just got done with the second Manifestors group, Women's Prosperity Group. I keep changing the name, sorry, but it's a group of women that meet to deliberately work with the principles of manifesting, to deliberately work with the creative principle of thoughts, feelings, and words spoken, words written, and how we can create our own reality by what we believe and what we speak. So it's a really fun process, and it's also a process of taking responsibility. So if there are things in my life I don't like, how am I contributing with my thoughts, feelings, and beliefs in that? And that always points back to the body. If you ask me, that's where you find the contracted beliefs that are, not kind towards self, really. So if there's a piece of us that doesn't feel loved or accepted in a certain area, then within ourselves, then that will be projected out, and someone will come toward us and make us feel not loved and accepted, but they're really just affirming something that sits like a knot within ourselves. And that's often where we kind of stumble in that manifesting process. I mean, this whole idea of manifesting has been around for a really long time. Lots of people have written about it and used it very successfully. But a lot of people also run into doing all the right things, the manifestations, written, spoken, what have you, and yet something goes awry. And what I found in my own life when I was working with these principles was in the areas where I was the most wounded. So I had the least strong beliefs that it could be good for me. That's where it didn't work. Like it was almost like the underlying beliefs were way stronger than anything I could superimpose. So the way I work with the principles was to, on one hand, do the manifestation affirmations, use the spoken word, the written word, and even singing it out loud, and really getting it into your energy system, like you're kind of programming yourself with a new vibe, with a new song, with a new frequency. But at the same time, be really alert and aware of what part of me doesn't really believe this, and where do I actually go into fear, and where do I feel like counter voices coming up when I try to affirm something really positive for myself. So that's what we work with today, and I want to describe that process a little bit, both because some people missed class today because I didn't send the Zoom link to everybody, which is terrible, and also just because I think other people that are not participating in the group could benefit from doing the prosperity, the abundance, the manifesting work with this little added detail to it. So here's how it goes. You sit down and you choose the area of your life that you want to work with. And today we did kind of a broad stroke. We did all the main areas of life, like your family, your main relationships, your home, your work, your money, your spirituality, your community. And you can build it from there and make it more specific. But with each of these areas, we wrote a letter of gratitude. So this is how it goes. So if you write about your family, for example, I am so happy and grateful now that, so it's in the present tense, you're sort of downloading the feeling that it's already so you can feel the vibration in the body of this already being so, yeah? So I'm so happy and grateful now that I have a beautiful, warm, caring, close relationship with my family. We support each other, or whatever feels really good for you to write in that regard. And you do that for each of the areas of your life. So we did that for a good 10 minutes, and it's amazing how much you can get written when you're really focused and you sit in a group. Somehow you don't really get around to doing it, maybe on your own, but when it's like, we're doing it now, 10 minutes go, you end up doing it. So do it, to stop this tape and then write for 10 minutes in each of these areas, or whatever you choose for your areas. And then when you're done, this is where it gets interesting. When you're done and you have this beautiful letter of gratitude, which when all these things are really true, that's like, wow, I've kind of cleaned up all these different areas of my life. I had everybody look at the letter and say, okay, which is the area where you don't really believe that this could happen for you, where you don't really believe that it could be so, where maybe life has proven to you that you can't find harmony prosperity, happiness, harmony, or I said that already, peace in a certain area of your life. And then put your hand on that area. So physically, the letter, you know, that you wrote, you put your hand on the area that is the one that kind of triggers you, because, you know, you don't even really like to think about it because it just reminds you of how hurt you've been in a certain area of your life. Put your hand on that area, and then while you tune into this affirmation that's positive, that's good, that's a new and better, you know, version of how your life could be in that area, feel the energy field of the body, which is why I always start every manifestation session with a deep meditation where we scan the body, because you have to be so present in your body so that your body really is allowed to be the beautiful intuitive instrument that it really is. So you feel where your body reacts. So for some people it was the heart or the throat or the belly. So you'd hold your hand right where it was, the energy field was reacting to that particular affirmation. And then you'd visualize the divine within. And I'm a yogi, so for me, the divine within is a golden Buddha, and I don't think it matters what image you give it, but it's a golden Buddha. It's Purusha, it's the essence, divinity of each person that's residing in the heart, that is eternally connected to the divine. It's the divine that has been incarnated into the physical form. So you connect with that and you visualize that, this beautiful radiant light within. And then you direct the light, and that's sort of your mindful, conscious directing of the divinity into the contracted part of you, the samskara, you might say in yoga language, but the part of you that is wounded, that feels like this area of my life can never be good. And maybe it's more than one area, but you pick the one that is sort of the most intense feeling of contraction in the body. So now you're holding that, you close your eyes, you visualize the Buddha light enveloping this contracted area in the body that goes into fear or contraction, or some state of, you know, I don't know, don't even talk to me about how good it could be because it never will be for me, those kinds of voices. So you bring all this Buddha light, all this divine light, all this Christ light, whatever your language is, to this area, and you hold it in so much love. And you can even give voice to the divine light. And the closest thing I can get to what divine light presence feels like to me is, I love you and I'm here. So you can say that out loud if you can, or inwardly, I love you and I'm here, I love you and I'm here, to those really scared places. And you just do it for as many minutes as you can tolerate it, because it is almost like a little medicinal process where for you to bring healing power to an area that's wounded and contracted, the first thing that happens is the wounded, contracted area feels worse, because it's like you've been so good at ignoring that feeling, or even, you know, done the things that would make you not feel it, and here you are going straight into it, but with love, with not with, you know, go away, but with, I'm here, I love you, it's okay that you're scared. So you hold that for a while, and that starts to lessen the charge of that contracted vibration. And then once you've done that for as many minutes as you want, then the next piece of the visualization is that you remember everything you wrote, not in detail, you don't have to reread it at this point, but you just kind of remember the overall feeling of it. You know, what house was I in? What did my home look like? Who was in my home? Where are my kids, my family, my beloved? What kind of work am I doing? You know, how many zeros in my bank account? Your spirituality, whatever it was, all the areas that you chose to write about in your gratitude letter, you picture all that being so, like very vividly with your imagination, like who's there, what does it look like, are you inside or outside, and what are the details, what are the smells, what country are you in, you know, maybe you moved. And then you just sit and hold that. So you just, you create that vibration within your body as though it's so, yeah? So we have these images from the yoga world that show how the brain doesn't know the difference between what it's pretending and what's really true. Like there's a story of the coiled up snake in the corner of a room that scares a person, and every fear chemical is released in the body, and the person is having a full-blown like panic attack. and then the light is flicked on, and the coiled up snake turns out to be coiled up rope. But the body didn't know the difference, so the body went into a vibration of fear. Yeah. So that's kind of what we're playing with a little bit. We're playing with creating deliberately the vibration we want in our bodies. And this is incredibly important too if we struggle with fear and anxiety, that we have sort of that dual approach, holding it. I'm here, I'm with you, I'm not going anywhere. So we're not trying to deny the fear, but we still give ourselves images of harmony and beauty and everything that life could be, so we can start creating that. Because otherwise we'll take the things that scare us, maybe things on the news, and we'll just consume more and more news and more scary things, and that becomes the reality. Like, that's what we experience life to be. Even if we were just to turn this way, away from the TV, there's like our beloved, and there's the kitchen, and now we have a beautiful meal cooked, and we could light some candles, and we could have this really beautiful now moment together. The TV is off. Whatever's happening in the world that scared you a moment ago, it's still out there, but it's not an immediate physical experience in your body. Yeah. So I think that's kind of recaps what we did for the hour that we met today. If you would like to join, then do so next week. It's always on Thursday, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time, 3:30 p.m. European time. And you just sign up 15 minutes before, mariatoso.com, mariatoso.com. Sign up. I will get you the Zoom link, and then you will learn more and more practices to kind of make this a way of life. So it's not just I have to visualize this one thing that I want to make sure happens in my life, and now that I got that to happen, now I can go back to my normal way. It's like, no, you're creating all the time. What if everything you created had that degree of deliberation, and that you gradually weeded out more and more and more of the thoughts, feelings, and beliefs and words that you really don't want to see manifested? So you do start to kind of watch what comes out of your mouth, so speak blessings over your life. I bless my life. I love my life. Life is good. Affirmations like that, just something very simple like that all day long. I bless my life. I love my life. Life is good. Yeah, good. I hope to see you next Thursday. Bye.